Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, we have a mess. You know that Elon is leading up the task force, Doge, that President Trump has asked Elon to look into fraud and waste in our government. And Elon is coming up with some stuff. And he says that arrests in Washington, D.C. are imminent, that there will be some people going to jail because Elon has tracked down the money and knows exactly where the money is going to. Check it out.
You said the other day
Absolutely.
you uncovered some evidence that there was massive Social Security fraud and that arrests were imminent.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that? And what can you tell us about what you've seen politicians do to make massive amounts of money off of the federal government, like Nancy Pelosi?
There's really so much for it. It's deciding what should be prosecuted first, because it's such a long list. You have to actually prioritize the list. We convey the list to the Department of Justice. The DOJ has a process that they go through to review and think about it. The wheels of justice turn slowly. In fact, obviously, I have a maniacal sense of urgency. To me, when I see that terrible fraud has happened, I'm like, why haven't we arrested someone already? As the saying goes, the wheels of justice turn slowly but surely. And I think probably the person that stole 400,000 Social Security numbers, at least, maybe more, will be arrested hopefully this week. You know, with respect to the non-governmental organizations, these sort of fake NGOs, I think there needs to be a number of arrests in that regard as well, because these are fake charities where mostly Democrats, there's sometimes a little bit of Republican in there, because they sometimes throw the Republicans a bone to say, hey, be quiet about this. That's where you start getting the uniparty thing going on. It is overwhelmingly to Democrats. They give give billions of dollars to NGOs run by Democrats that then go through a whole network of additional NGOs. It's a giant money laundering scheme. Really, at this point, I think the word NGO and money laundering are almost synonymous.
I guess it's finally reached that level where Elon Musk is now saying there needs to be a number of arrests. He also mentions one case where someone supposedly stole over 400,000 Social Security numbers. Now, either Elon Musk is the biggest grifter known to mankind, and he's just pulling our freaking leg. He's setting up the biggest case of blue balls ever known to mankind, just messing with us, and there's nothing to anything that he's saying, or we are about to see the biggest shakeup in Washington in modern history. You know, as of now, it's pretty hard to make a prediction. I guess time will tell, and that's basically the same thing he's saying. The wheels of justice turn slowly. But you know, like I usually say, you gotta look at people's track records, and Elon Musk, for the most part, has been a man of integrity. He won me over with his acquisition of Twitter and then releasing the Twitter files. So for now, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He seems to be genuinely onto something, and he also seems to be asking the right questions. You know, like this.
There is a massive amount of corruption, but it is circuitous. So what happens is there's money that, obviously it's your taxpayer money, that is then sent to various government organizations who then send it to NGOs, which an NGO is a non-governmental organization, but obviously if it's a government-funded non-governmental organization, it's just an organization, it's just a government. And effectively there's a giant fraud loophole, which is that the government can send money to an NGO that is then no longer governed by the laws of the United States. So they'll send the money overseas to one NGO, then they'll go through a bunch of them, and then I'm highly confident that a bunch of that money then comes back to the United States and lands in the pockets of the people you just mentioned. But it is a circuitous route. It's not like it doesn't go directly, but let's just say that there's a lot of strangely wealthy members of Congress.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we have is President Trump and Elon have been explaining to the American people for some time now that Washington, D.C., our federal government is very corrupt. And the president and Elon will prove it very shortly. So now, having said that, if that is the case, which I believe it is, and with the tariffs that have been put on foreign companies doing business here in the United States, I believe that the president's plan is working big time, and it won't be long before the president of the United States will get rid of personal income taxes, which would be a great day. That means America, you'll be able to keep all your money. Ain't that something? Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. So we are getting down to the nitty gritty. Thank you, Elon. Thank you, President Trump. This is going to be very interesting. And we like to see some people get tossed. Like my boy OK Ricky said,
Put your hands behind your back.
I'm your host, Big Al, Uncle Coon. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Can't touch this.
Real deal. Big Al on the mic, UncleCoon in the house, dropping knowledge, stay true, no room for doubt. From debates to celebs, we cover it all. Tune in, hit subscribe, you don't want to miss the call.